Hi, I'm Dan from Hytera UK and welcome to Hytera Product Focus. This is a series of videos where we look at a variety of radios, applications and solutions from Hytera. Today we're going to be looking at the PD3 Series range, which is a variety of radios from our digital migration range of portables. In this video particularly we're going to look at the different variants of the PD3 Series, we're going to look at what the features and functionalities of them are, and we're going to have a look at what you get in the box, and also maybe talk about some of the sectors where the PD3 Series comes into its own and fits really well. So let's start by having a look at the different varieties of the PD3 Series. I have the three main variants of the PD3 Series. I have the PD355, I have the PD365, and I have the PD375. Now the PD375 isn't actually available here in the UK just yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to one side and I'll cover that in a future video. So once again, the PD355 and PD365 here in front of me. Now these two variants of radios then have several sub-variants in terms of the frequencies that they operate on. The first variant for both of them is 446 or license free. Now that's PMR or DMR 446, so both analog and digital 446 frequencies. The second version, which is available in both variants, the 355 and 365, is 400 to 440 megahertz. The final version is 430 to 470 megahertz. So there's no VHF version available, only UHF. And make sure that you order the right variant of PD3 Series of your choice to fit in with the frequencies that you're using, or if you don't have any frequencies licensed, then go for the license-free variant. Let's have a talk about the key features of the PD3 Series. So first, what you hopefully will have noticed is they look a lot different from a traditional radio, the radios that you'll have been used to, and that's in terms of the size, and also I can tell you in terms of the weight as well. So in terms of the weight, both of these radios weigh in at about the 160 gram mark, and if we look at size in comparison to an iPhone 4 that I have here in my other hand, you can see, particularly with the PD355, they're around about the same size. The PD355 obviously that little bit thicker, but there's not an awful lot in it, and I can tell you there's not anything really in it in terms of the weight as well. Using the standard 2000 milliamp hour lithium-ion battery that comes with these radios, you'll get about 12 hours battery life in DMR mode. That's working on a 95-5 principle, meaning 90% of the time idle, 5% of the time receiving, and 5% of the time transmitting. Something else that I alluded to in the video earlier is that these radios can work in both analog and digital modes. This is absolutely perfect when you come to change your analog fleet and migrate it to digital, in that you can purchase these radios and do a gradual change out with them working in analog mode. Then when you've changed all of your radios to digital radios, you can switch them into digital mode and make use of all the benefits of DMR, which we'll be talking about in another video. Despite their looks, the radios themselves, the PD3 Series, are actually very robust, offering IP54 rating for both dust and liquid ingression. Finally, just to talk about the power that you get on these radios in terms of power output. In low power, they will output 1.5 watts, and in high power, they will output 3 watts. Keep in mind that there's not a traditional antenna in terms of what you've been used to on this radio. So if you are coming to look at the range of the PD3 Series, or you're coming to survey a site that you want to use the PD3 Series on, just make sure that you use the PD3 Series to do the survey to make sure that the range that you get is accurate. So the most crucial thing about using your radios is that they are user-friendly, and the PD3 Series certainly is a user-friendly radio. So let's look at some of the buttons and how you might use your radio. There are obviously a variety of ways that your radio supplier may set it up for you based on your requirements. So I'm just going to put the PD365 to one side. So here you can see on the side of it is the push to talk button, as you'd expect. It's very tactile, and no matter where you press the PTT button, you can see that's still making the call. You've got a menu here when you press this button, just after I've come out of the call. And that allows you to set up a contact list, which allows you to make individual calls. Your text messaging tab, which obviously allows you to see any text messages you've received on your radio from other radios. Call logs, and there's various other things on there that you can see as well. There are various other pre-programmable buttons on the radio which can be set up to do various different features which you can talk to your point of purchase about. Lastly, as you can see, there's a nice screen there with a backlight. What that can display for you is the group and also the name of the user ID of the person who's speaking to you on another radio at that time, which is a very useful feature. Last thing I'm just going to quickly talk about and quickly touch on is where we've seen the PD3 series work best here in the UK and some of the sectors we've seen it work well in. The first one where I've seen it work really well is in schools, in education, particularly in smaller schools, primary schools or lower schools, where the teachers need to quickly contact reception or need to contact the head teacher or another member of staff, particularly out across the playgrounds. It's very useful. Also, it's brilliant for the hotel and hospitality sector because they're very discreet radios. They're obviously very small. They don't stand out, and they don't weigh the person down for their daily duties. Also, they're very useful in the retail sector, particularly the 446 radios, the license-free variants of them, just for retail assistants to make quick contact with each other and just keep each other notified to what's going on the shop floor. So thanks for tuning into this video of Product Focus, focusing on the PD3 series, and we look forward to seeing you next time. The box when you purchase the PD3 series. Now, what I'm going to show you now is what is relevant to the UK market in particular, and is obviously subject to change, so do check with your point of purchase. I'm just going to move the PD355 to one side here and focus on the PD365. In terms of carrying options, you get this nice belt clip with either variant. And what you can hear there is that clipping onto the PD365. And this belt clip here allows you to attach it to your belt or to your trousers or to your skirt for easy carrying around. Next, you have this lanyard or wrist strap. You can connect this up to the radios to the corner just there, as you can see. And I've seen people carry it around on their wrist, or they could carry it around on their neck because it's so light that they barely even notice that it's there. So that's a further option in terms of carrying. In terms of charging your radio, you'll recognise this from using your phone when charging up your phone, in that it's just a micro USB. And what you can see here is there's a little flap here that you lift up, and that allows you to plug in your micro USB adapter and charge your radio. And that's one of the options for charging your radio's battery. Lastly, you can see here, it comes with an owner's manual, a safety information booklet, and also a short declaration of conformity from Hytera.